Hi everyone, my name is Aemal Sayer. I'm a software engineer. I build AI agents in Germany. Well, you're watching at AI Talks, one of the episodes that I have been doing for multiple months in the start, but I had like a very long break because it was a lot of logistics. Not anymore because I have built something, vibe coded something with some cameras around me. And today I have my first guest, Florian. You'll get to know him in just a minute. From now on, I will be doing this podcast pretty frequently because the entire setup is literally in my backpack. So let's go and say hi to Florian. Hi, Florian. How are you doing? Welcome to the show.
Good. Thanks for having me.
Please tell everyone what's your name, what you do.
Which one is mine?
That middle camera is yours.
Hi, I'm Florian. I'm building AI automations and AI portals for small, medium businesses.
That's wonderful. And what was your background before, coming to AI automation? What did you do before? What did you study, university, and so on?
So I didn't study computer science or anything. So I actually did my master's in English and philosophy.
Oh, wow, that's
But
interesting.
right from the start, like my first job was in an IT project with Commerzbank. And for the last 10 years, so I also was working in an agency for a while, and I was self-employed back in 2011. I focused on content management systems, and for the past 10 years, until end of last year, I was working for Frankfurt School of Finance and Management, and as a team lead and project manager for big digital projects.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And what was the taking moment when you say, I'm going to go in AI automation? And
So I've done an AI certificate back in 2019 already, so pre-ChatGPT, and that was quite exciting.
how long was it?
It was, I think, 2 times a week,
Okay.
so not too long, but very intense. So full time, 2 times 5 days. And I was already hyped back then, but those were the days where you would still need data scientists, and you would have to
The traditional machine learning.
yeah, exactly, the days of machine learning, and you would have to come up with your own AI basically,
Yes.
and need a whole team.
Yes.
So that was quite a barrier, and I thought, okay, I'm really interested in this, and I want to focus on AI. But then in my back on the job, daily business, and there was no AI projects in the line. And then ChatGPT came, and I thought, okay, now it's going wild. And back then, I remember that we were also looking into a chat bot for the website. But my former boss said that back then those chat solutions there
were like this hype of chat bots in
Yes.
2016 sometimes, and then it kind of
Yeah.
went down. So
but you would have to build those decision trees, and then look for words that trigger this one branch as opposed to the other. And I was looking into it and speaking with service providers, but the results were not satisfying.
I was not happy with that.
No.
Absolutely.
No. So my boss said no, they're not there yet. And then ChatGPT happened, and okay, that was the moment.
So what brought you to AI automation? Like, when was the first thing you opened N8N? We'll come to the story where we met. But when was the first time you opened N8N? When was the first time you started building? And we'll also come to your story of building something for a client recently, which was the main taking point when we actually decided that, hey, let's do this podcast together because your success story worth talking about. So let's go with that. Like, what was the first time when you picked something?
So I actually started working with make.com.
Oh, nice.
And so I started with prompt engineering, and then there was this module of a course I did, and then they showed how make.com works. So I've heard of
YouTube videos, or how did you
yes.
teach
Well,
yourself?
I was part of a class.
I see.
So something like a boot camp. And I thought, okay, that's super cool because I've heard of Zapier before, but then make.com was new to me, and I saw this little AI node happening within a workflow.
Yes.
And this was sort of a light bulb moment for me, because I thought, okay, this is really powerful combination.
And which year was it? Like, was it 2000?
I think it was 24. So
2024.
Not that long ago. No. So then I focused on.
And this is a time when you decide to quit your job and go full time.
Exactly. Yes.
Wow. That requires a lot of courage. Although in Germany we have like a lot of safety net, right?
Yes.
If we lose our job or we quit it.
I mean, I was in discussions with my former employee about, changing my role into more an AI-focused role, but they didn't think, or let's put it that way, they were not ready yet. So,
yes.
And
I think the problem with AI adoption right now is a lot of organizations do not. And this is true and this is absolutely normal. They're not ready to adopt AI because of a lot of regulations, because of a lot of kind of like legal frameworks around it. I was in this conference where I met this guy doing some voice AI. I do a lot of voice AI. And he was doing it successfully. And I say, like, how do you do GDPR, EU AI Act, all the laws that we know? Yeah. And then he said, like, well, you don't know about Telecom Act, telecom regulations. So there are a lot of regulations, especially in Germany, around big organizations. And therefore, I think it is absolutely normal for big organizations to adopt AI in a very systematic, gradual way. But I believe that is what probably pushed you to go all on your own.
Yeah.
And then you decided to go all on your own. What was the story behind that? Like, how did we meet? How did it happen?
So I've come across your name during browsing NNN videos on YouTube, and also browsing NNN templates. And then I thought, okay, this guy is really active, and I'm not sure how I learned about the boot camp we did back then, but
I don't even remember it myself, to be honest. Like, I did this boot camp thing only one time. You guys were the only cohort. I did it the second time, and I saw that there were a lot of logistics in it, and then I stopped doing it. So you guys are the only cohort that was ever graduated. So just for the context, the cohort was, I was doing a lot of these workshops throughout the year. Now it's 9 months only, less than 9 months. And I did over 20 workshops. I have over 320 videos on YouTube, and all of them educational videos around N8N, vibe coding, automation, AI. Just for the matter of fact, I have a master's degree in AI, which I almost acquired in 2015 from Koblenz University. And I have a bachelor's degree in computer science, which I graduated in 2010. And I've been coding for 23 years. So I brought all of that knowledge plus the knowledge of my last startup, which I would like to show you guys just for the context so that we can have this conversation going on in a nice way. So I did a startup in 2023, 2024, a voice AI agent, literally something that you can see it here on the screen. Like, it's a voice AI agent that has access to these tools, and we don't know the term AI agent yet. And we are pitching it on the stage of Techstars. We got the Techstars Acceleration Program. There's a nice little video demo of this, me showing it in the car setup as my co-founder, Alex. And a lot of cool things here. But what you could relate this to is Knight Rider from the TV series from 1980s, or the very famous movie from Joaquin Phoenix's Her 2013, Samantha, this voice AI agent that basically talks to you wherever you go. And we're building this thing in kind of like pre-agentic world, and we have a client from Merck, the pharma industry, and that kind of like started the whole series of like workshops, because unfortunately my startup could not survive due to lack of funding. We had to liquidate it. But a lot of knowledge that I gained during the time when even ChatGPT didn't have this so-called function calling, and we were extracting JSON information from literally regular expressions by getting back responses from ChatGPT 3.5, and I was always prompt engineering in a way that, hey, please don't respond anything else, just respond in JSON. And still ChatGPT 3.5, being ChatGPT 3.5, was responding things in a different situation. And that was kind of like the learning that I started kind of like feeling guilty about having that much of knowledge under my belt and not sharing it with the community. And I was procrastinating for a very long time on starting a YouTube channel, and that's how I think we met. And the cohort was one of the amazing things that I did, and I believe that it's amazing. How was your experience with the cohort?
Yeah, it was good.
First day.
It was I mean, I think you called it, what was it, vibe coding
N8N, yeah.
N8N, right?
Yes.
And I mean, it turns out it was more N8N and VAPI than vibe coding, because I think at the end of the day, everyone was pretty exhausted, except for you, of course. And then
it was 10 hours, right?
Yeah, it was even more. Yeah, even more. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the deep dive into VAPI.
Yeah.
Because that was new to me. I knew a bit of N8N. As I said, I was starting with Make.com, and I remember the first time I saw N8N, I thought it was a bit intimidating, to be honest. Because yeah, I'm not a developer. I would consider myself a technical person. So I like I like if it gets technical and to wrap my head around new tools. But of course, I was more confident in working with Make.com. But then that was also good to have someone really explaining deeply how N8N works.
Nice.
And yeah.
And this was, just for the context, a month-long cohort. We did it for one day full-time, 10 hours. After that, daily stand-up meetings every day, and then one 90-minute slot every Saturday, was it, or Sunday? I don't remember.
Yeah.
And tell me the success story. You got your first client sometimes a couple of weeks ago.
At the time, I was developing like a process mapping portal, basically. And so the idea is to enable also small businesses to map their processes properly, with the goal of automating them. Mm-hmm. So to have a holistic view on their process landscape, and then find the right processes to be automated. Nice. With AI, if possible. And so if I do courses like yours, my goal is always to take something out of it, and ideally use it for a project.
Yeah.
And in this case, it was the voice assistant, let's say, or AI assistant. And
so what have you built for your client? If it's not confidential and you can share.
No, it's not confidential. So my approach is to enable my client to process all the to map all their processes that take a lot of time, and for me to be able to also understand them fully and to get the bigger picture.
Nice.
And of course, it's a lot of work. And I also get that feedback. It's an effort, but I think it's necessary in order to do that right. Yeah, because I don't think that a service provider should be the one defining what process to automate. And also on the other side, it would be a bit random for the client to choose what process to automate.
Absolutely.
I think there's a gap you have to bridge, and my portal is a way to serve as this bridge. And of course, the core effort is also to describe the process in detail. And my idea was, okay, let's make it so that the client can press a button, gets a call, and the AI agent is leading the client through an interview.
So for preparing for an interview. So basically,
no, it's actually doing an interview. So because
nice.
the goal is to get the three the content. Yeah, I mean the main description of a process, starting with the trigger, going on with the steps.
Yeah.
And then what's the goal of the process?
Wonderful.
So to have it end to end.
And what did you use for calling? VAPI or?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I followed exactly your steps. There was a trigger.
To be honest, this is like almost everything we do becomes obsolete in a couple of months. I did this cohort. How many months ago was it? 3 months ago?
Yeah.
4 months ago. And since then, I did another course, and I used 11 labs in great detail. I generate all of my content is for free. Until now, I don't have any paid content. So this is 60 lectures long, not VAPI, 11 labs. And when I started doing 11 labs, the difference is a lot. 11 labs is way much better than VAPI.
Okay.
And a lot of frontiers. Spatially, it is EU-based, so they're a Polish company. And from the EU AI Act compliance, from GDPR compliance perspectives, it is much safer. Just so that I can quickly guide you guys where to find that course. So if you go, just like this metrics team. So if you go to my YouTube, you can go to aemalsayer.com and then the YouTube channel, and then hi, my name is Aemal Sayer. Oh, that's loud. Go to the playlists, and then it's this one. So you can see that there are 57 lectures. It's not finished. I will put more content to this particular crash course, but it is covering Next.js, Supabase, 11 labs, NA10, from very, very, very basics to literally doing a lot of things around, like building a voice AI agent that calls prospects as soon as they fill a contact form. And then also we vibe code, as you mentioned, like it was a lot of vibe coding as well. So there is a lot of vibe coding in that course that will teach you how to build a CRM, that all the transcripts of that voice conversation is stored inside of the CRM in a Kanban view. So this is something I think is coming, like the vibe coding plus this flowgramming. It's the very natural evolution of software development. How do you feel as a non-coder or non-programmer building products now and charging money? Like, how does it feel like from a builder's perspective?
Yes, it feels empowering. I think that's the right term. I'm not a fan of vibe coding, I have to admit.
Okay.
So I'm really committed on software as a platform.
Yeah.
Because back in the days when I was working with content management systems, I feel more familiar and secure with a really like a proper interface that I can I can steer and know all the gears that I have to move. With vibe coding, I think as a developer, it's probably cool because if things go south, that
I see. So you know what was breaking.
And then you can go into the code. I can't. I mean, we had the discussion with Marie, right, on the roundtable, and so I see the benefits, and I've played around with Lovable, building landing pages. But when it comes to building portals for clients, I use software, and so in combination with N8N, I think it's a great setup.
Wonderful. Cool. Speaking of vibe coding, I built this entire system that you guys saw here. It has a lot of gadgets. using vibe coding, and it uses C++ in certain areas. And the last time I wrote C++ was in 2000 or 2001, and it was only a part of our course, a year-long course. So I think vibe coding, as you said, for engineers, it might be comfortable because they know what they're doing, or they at least can read the code. But for AI native developers, it's a totally new area. I think as the AI matures, especially the coding agents mature. Yesterday, OpenAI had their Dev Day, and Codex was their coding model that was announced, and it seems to be promising. But if we evaluate Claude Code, Sonnet 4.5 just released recently, Gemini CLI, and this multi-agent frameworks. I've been working on one called Vibebox. Well, this Vibe is the prefix, like Vibebox, Vibecast, VibeReal, Vibe Stage, and so on and so forth. So Vibe coming from vibe coding. So I think the vibe coding era is gonna really enhance so much, and that will bring a lot of kind of like this so-called citizen developers, so that anyone in the organization can become a developer.
Yeah.
And I think the amount of errors will reduce. And what do you think about that kind of an era where you can build?
Yeah, I mean, again, vibe coding is a big term, yeah. But when it comes to an LLM creating the code for you, I see this huge black box problem, let's say. And again, so you're always the dependency is there on the LLM to do the right thing, right?
Yes.
And this is something I'm not very comfortable with. So.
One more thing I think is like when LLM writes code, and if it can write code, it can also read and refactor code. So my opinion is that we won't need to read the code. So a lot of people are afraid of vibe coding as a whole concept because they say like, oh, LLMs can hallucinate. Well, there are solutions to context engineering and doing, for example, this vibe box I'm doing as this so-called taskmaster. It's a tiny MCP-based task management tool that extends the memory of any code generator, code completion model that you're using, Gemini, Claude Code, Cursor, etc. And it basically interfaces with that and then extends the memory, and then it can do context engineering better. Therefore, it hallucinates lower, and it can go in this YOLO mode and so on. But the point here is that once the LLMs evolve, let's say 2 years, 3 years down the road, the actual need for reading code would be eliminated because we won't need actually to read code because the coding need, like, if we can outsource reliably to AI, why would we not do that? It's cheaper, it's awake 24/7, and that future is amazing.
I mean, there's one use case maybe because I'm also interested what you think about this. What I often do when it comes to those software apps I'm building is I define user groups, and then I have visibility rules for certain user groups. And this is pretty neat to enable in an app because I know the settings, right, and where to go to. And I wouldn't know how to do this in, I don't know, Lovable maybe. At least not if you're changing it. Maybe it would work, from scratch if you're prompting it correctly. But then to quickly change, visibility rights according to specific user groups, and I think I would be lost quite quickly.
Yeah, makes sense. I think let's conclude there that vibe coding is just starting, and I think it's an area where it's kind of like getting richer and richer as the time goes on, and I think we are just around the corner to witness something amazing in software development world. Florian, thank you so much for being my guest in this show.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to seeing you again.
Thanks.
Thank you
for
so
the
much.
invite.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.